Ooh, I'm already thinking about lunch. Shrimp. Chelsea's win does not take Maurizio Sarri out of the firing line. Arsenal are comfortably through to the next round, but some questions still remain. We have a roundup of the day's transfer rumours, and of course, we have today's Friday feels. That and more coming up in the next few minutes, as I'm your host, Matt Froelich. You are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. First off, and to last night's Europa League action, where Chelsea saw themselves safely through to the next round with a 3-0 win over Malmo. However, Maurizio Sarri is well and truly still in the firing line. Last night, he was booed, his tactics were booed, his summer signing Jorginho was booed, and N'Golo Kante is still not playing defensive midfield. On some ways, I can kind of sympathise with the Chelsea fans because they are really not happy at the moment. However, they won the match, so they can't complain too much. If a disastrous week coming up ends in defeat against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup and against Spurs next Wednesday in a London derby, you can be pretty sure that Maurizio Sarri will be packing his bags. But if he does leave Chelsea, then he may have another job coming up in the future, as apparently within the last few days, Maurizio Sarri went for dinner with Franco Baldini and James Pallotta. That's the advisor to and club president of Roma. Now, any such potential deal would not see Francesco going the other way, because to be honest, for Chelsea, if one Italian who doesn't quite know what he's doing doesn't work, then I'm sure another won't exactly help. As for Sarri, if he can't get all the money that he needs for the players that he needs and the style of football that he wants to introduce at Chelsea, what makes him think he can go and get all of that at Roma? I'll never really know. Anyway, Chelsea fans, what do you guys think? Is this Sarri ball effect wearing off? And who would be the new man to bring in? And moving on to another part of Europa League action from last night in London, and it's Arsenal's 3-0 victory against Bate Borisov. Now, we did mention last week that despite them losing 1-0 against Bate, that we thought the second leg would be a little bit easier, and nerves were calmed after opening the scoring within the first 5 minutes. However, despite this, there are still a lot of questions surrounding Arsenal as a football club. First off, Koscielny went off injured, meaning that they have yet more defensive worries, so why didn't they sign someone in the January transfer window? And secondly, Mesut Ozil played 90 minutes for only the second time this year. So, does this mean that he then deserves a place in the starting lineup for the Premier League matches? He had a fantastic game last night, and Unai Emery did admit in his press conference afterwards that Ozil does have quality. However, sometimes he'll be needed in the starting lineup and sometimes he'll be on the bench. This tells me that the highest paid player in the club's history and former World Cup winner Mesut Ozil has been reduced to a rotation place in the squad. This is hardly going to please him. This begs the question for all of the Arsenal fans. Do you keep him on the bench while he costs so much money, or do you put him in the squad when he may not be that much help? I know he was good last night, but at the end of the day, that was Bate in the Europa League. No offence to them, of course. So that's it from our Europa League roundup, where other interesting results the rest of the night saw Rennes go away to Betis and win 3-1. Shakhtar Donetsk were demolished by Frankfurt 4-1, and Brendan Rodgers' Celtic are out of the Europa League after losing to Valencia. Moving on away from the Europa League and back to the Premier League, and it is back with Chelsea, as they have been banned from 2 transfer windows from signing anybody. This is in a relation to breaching of the rules against the signing of players of the age of under 18. It does link back to the signing of Bertrand Traoré from Burkina Faso a few years ago. However, this does mean that Chelsea are really in a situation now. If they're to bring in a new manager, it means that he wouldn't be able to sign the players that he wants until next summer, the summer of 2020. This summer and the next January transfer window, Chelsea would not be able to register any new players. They will, however, be allowed to sell players, which coincides with Maurizio Sarri saying that if he wants to play Callum Hudson-Odoi, they need to get rid of a winger first, either Willian or Pedro. So they could bring in some money without having to splurge any. They can also release players, but that's neither here nor there. And next up, we come to a roundup of the day's transfer news, which is going to involve, from now on, every single club, apart from Chelsea, obviously. First up, and it's actually some managerial news, where Leicester are looking to get rid of Claude Puel and bring in Newcastle's Rafael Benitez. Elsewhere, Barcelona are keeping an eye on Lille winger Nicolas Pepe. Atletico Madrid are hoping to tie Jan Oblak down to a new contract, which would see his release clause go up to 100 million euros. And finally, PSG are apparently interested in Arsenal's Matteo Guendouzi for around 60 million, although Unai Emery has moved to completely reject those rumours. So lastly but not least, we come to today's Friday Feels. This is actually my favourite part of the daily show every single Friday, pretty much every single week, because you guys get to let me know your predictions down below for all of the football over the weekend, and you all get to laugh at mine when I inevitably get them wrong. This could be a player, a club, a team, a manager, whatever. Whatever you think is going to happen in this weekend's football, let me know down below. For the 3 games this weekend, and it's a big weekend of football, I'm going to go for Manchester City to win the Carabao Cup by beating Chelsea 2-0. I'm also going to go for Manchester United against Liverpool to finish in a 1-1 draw. And I also think that Sevilla are going to beat Barcelona 2-1 and continue their pretty poor form in La Liga. That's Barcelona, that is, obviously not Sevilla. So that's all from me for today. Make sure you smash the like button and let me know in the comment section below all of your thoughts, including your Friday feels for the weekend. And can Chelsea really last 2 transfer windows without signing anybody, especially if the likes of Eden Hazard leave the club? Whilst you're at it, you can also click here or here to check out all of the other videos that we've got going on Onefootball. But until next time, have a great weekend and I will see you guys later. Why was the graveyard so noisy? Because of all the coughing.